Chapter 6406. The two checked in and took the room card to the room on the 22nd floor of the hotel. Their rooms were one south and one north. And the room on the north side just happened to have a panoramic view of the entire port. Coming to the living room of the north room, the two of them overlooked the port of Casablanca in front of the French window. Duncan saw at a glance the railway freight yard with at least 20 tracks in the south of the port. He looked east along the railway line and said to Charlie, "As far as I know, Casablanca is the economic lifeline of the entire Morocco. Most of the phosphate mined in the country is shipped from here to all parts of the world. Duke Mining of the Warriors Den also exports phosphate overseas from here. I think the phosphate is transported directly to the dock by rail." Charlie said, "Have you checked their phosphate exports?" "We checked it." Duncan said, "I checked the import and export data of Moroccan phosphate companies. And Duke Mining was not included in it. If Duke Mining does not export itself, then their production capacity should be handled by other companies to help them with export business." Duncan said, "In order to find out where their phosphates are going, I checked all companies engaged in import and export business in the port of Casablanca and locked in one of the import and export companies. The main business of this company is to export phosphates to companies around the world. They do not have phosphate mines themselves, which means they are acting as an agent for the export business of some phosphate companies. I analyzed the customs declaration data of this company. The annual export volume is higher than the output of Duke Mining. I think in addition to Duke Mining, it should also act as an agent for the export of some small companies. In addition, this company also does a small amount of import business. Most of the imports are various mining machinery and equipment. And then they are sold in Morocco. However, they are said to be sales, but in fact, they only provide equipment for Duke Mining." Charlie asked curiously, "Is this also found out by AI?" "Yes." Duncan said, "This import and export company imported a batch of Liebherr heavy mining equipment from Germany 2 years ago. AI confirmed in the repaired Skyline database that this batch of Liebherr heavy equipment was working in the open-pit mining area of Duke Mining. This brand of equipment has not been found in several other large companies. For other companies, the cost of Liebherr equipment may still be too high." After that, Duncan said, "AI also found a lot of food imported from the United States from their customs declaration materials, mainly beef, wheat, and vegetables. I suspect that these foods were secretly shipped to Duke Mining after customs declaration." Charlie said, "Food can be purchased locally. It is unnecessary to import from the United States. It is probably because Duke Mining's consumption is obviously higher than normal. So they don't want people to notice it." "Yes." Duncan said, "They are quite careful in this regard. There are several local food suppliers, which disperses the demand. It is difficult for ordinary people to find out their specific food consumption. Combined with a portion of secretly imported food, it can basically be seamless. But they certainly didn't expect that there would be an AI model with incredible computing power to continuously analyze all their data and information through various dimensions." Charlie pointed in the direction of the railway and asked him, "Inspector Lee, since Duke Mining's phosphate is transported in by this railway, if I want to transport the Warriors Den's assassins out of Duke Mining, this railway should also be the only way. I think we can use this railway line as a breakthrough point and focus on it." Duncan agreed and said, "AI has analyzed several production sectors of Duke Mining. The mining area is responsible for mining the raw ore, which is then transported to Duke Mining's refinery near the mining area by trucks and conveyor belts. The refined phosphate is loaded at the railway freight yard in the refinery and then transported directly to the port. As long as Duke Mining needs to transport phosphate, it must have empty trains to load it. If we can get the driving videos of these freight trains, we should be able to figure out the basic process of trains entering Duke Mining. Through the videos, we should be able to see if there are any loopholes in this process." Charlie nodded and said, "From here, the railroad does not lead directly to the dock. After these goods are transported to the port by rail, they need to be loaded and unloaded first. and then go through a series of customs export procedures before they can enter the cargo loading and unloading area of the dock. Let's sneak in tonight and study it carefully. If we can get the people from the railway loading and unloading area to the dock loading and unloading area quietly. If this step can be achieved, then we will have a chance to take all the people away.